Morning, Walnut Hill. Welcome to our journey from the garden to the cross this week leading up to Easter. And I'm Brian Prue. I'm excited to be journeying with you. And I want to just kind of fast forward us. We've been in the wilderness. We've been talking about what it means to be separate with God. And then Jesus comes to earth. The living God himself comes to earth. And the God is three parts: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, three persons. And the Son comes and he walks this earth, and people can hear his voice, and they can see him, they can touch him, they can eat with him. And it's an amazing moment. But when Jesus is facing his death, when he's knowing that his betrayers are coming, Jesus goes to the Garden of Gethsemane. And after they've eaten dinner, the Last Supper, they eat together, they go across the valley, and they go up these slopes into this tranquil and peaceful garden. And they're alone. And this is where Jesus goes to meet with his Father. And I just want to share a little bit. This is coming out of Matthew, and it's Matthew 26, verses 36 and following. I'm not going to read them all, but I'm going to highlight a couple snippets. Then Jesus went with them to the olive grove called Gethsemane, and he said, "Sit here while I go over there to pray." He took Peter and Zebedee's two sons, James and John, and he became anguished and distressed. He told them, "My soul is crushed with grief to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." Now that's verses 36 through 38. But what I want to paint this picture is that when Jesus is feeling like his soul is crushed to the point of death, he goes to be with his Father. He goes to walk in the garden with the living God, to speak to him. And we know that, well, maybe we don't know. I would invite you in. After this story, after this moment, the betrayer does come, Judas, who sells Jesus for just 30 pieces of silver. And he begins this moment that leads us to Good Friday, that leads Jesus up the path to Golgotha, the place of the skull, to his death. And Jesus, knowing that's coming, knows that he wants to sit and speak with his Father, to pour out his soul, to find solace and comfort for the road ahead, because he knows it will be hard. And he knows that he will face something he never wanted: separation from the living God. So Jesus goes to the garden to discover and to encounter just this moment that he longs for. And so I want to invite you in this day. What does it look like for you to go to a place where you can sit before the living God, where you can pour out your heart to him, where you're not guaranteed what comes next, and you're not going in and saying, "God, you got to do this," but you're willing to sit and to hear, have your heart mended and healed, so that whatever you face today, tomorrow, this coming week, whatever challenge in life that you've been praying into and asking God to remove, but is still there, that he's equipping you to step into. Because when we meet with the living God, our heart is filled and our strength is renewed to fight the battle that he's called us into. And the battle's not against others. It's against this temptation that we have to say, did God really say that I really have to give him my whole heart every moment of every day? Did God really invite me into this relationship? Because when doubt creeps in, we stop going to the Father and we start relying on ourselves. So what does it look like for you to go to the garden today? To find a moment, to find a space where you just sit and pour out your heart to the living God. I'd encourage you to do it now. Turn this video off, maybe turn the phone off, and just sit in silence and pour out your heart before the living God, and expect that he is not only listening, but he wants to speak into the cries of your heart. And he will in this moment, and this day, and in the coming days. And I hope that you will be expectant to listen and see as the living God meets with you. So blessings this morning. excited to journey with you one more day as we go to the cross tomorrow.